And I'm a special guest, a international diplomatic consultant, a Wahab Farouk, Wahab. Na enra ye dege na me producer Kwame Frimpong. De krata ba ko bi sende me. Na krata no ma menkan mu nsem kakra fi se ena wie enkoma ye betwetwe ne ho ne ye be hya ase afiri. Se de be ya afoforo bi no ma wo mu tie ye no. Wo mbehu se ni patitru a woyo na wo kasa ye nyina ya venya so ne ya tie ne yie. Ma mentimu bio. Me se me kan krata no wie a ye behu nipa su a Owura Farouk Wahab woyo na se wo kasa ye nyina ya venya so ne ya tie ne yie. Efise oman mu empempi no empanyimfo a wo mutufo empanyimfo a etoda wo muka asem a ede abotoye mu eba empanyimfo a wo mukasa edi mu empanyimfo a wo mukasa anke wosi yetie no empempi no yentio ma asem empempi no wo mukasa yemfi entiene krata ni mamenkenkan na wonso tie bi utie bi wia afei asem bia Owura Farouk Wahab beka enei no wo betiase na mamenkenkan krata no o se United Liberation Movement for West Papua International Secretariat Winston Churchill Street 1571 Port Villa Republic of Vanuatu. Maminjai the reference number no, but the letter is dated 2nd of August 2021 to Owura Farouk Wahab, and I read Matume buase ateki me time no makenkan krata no mu nsam no yiye misrew se wunyi wasom no paya pe cotton bad bi asawa faso machisia no na fa yi wasum na tie bi. Or say, dear Mr. Wahab, as interim president of the United Liberation Movement for West Papua Provisional Government, I appoint you to the following role: working for and reporting to the ULMWP diplomatic consultant on the African Union and UN Africa. Your terms of reference are as follows: also to mobilize international support for the independence struggle of the people of West Papua, to mobilize financial humanitarian assistance for the people of West Papua and financial assistance for the ULMWP as the representatives of the people of West Papua, to establish and maintain dialogue between West Papua and international community of African nations, especially in the African Union and within the UN, to liaise between the ULMWP, the African states, and the African sections of the UN, and lastly, to mobilize investments for the people of West Papua, including permanent assistance and support services for the West Papuan people. We need your assistance in these diplomatic, financial, humanitarian, and political realms. But words biase, we need your assistance in these diplomatic, financial, humanitarian, and political realms. This appointment will help to liberate the last colony of the Black African race, West Papua. We need you to convince the African people who have shared in our experience of racism, discrimination, and colonialism to support our people's Black liberation struggle against Indonesian imperialism. Your work will bolster the resolution on West Papua passed by the Organization of Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific state in 2019. I look forward to continue to work with you moving forward for your invaluable assistance at this key moment. I personally thank you. Warm regards, Interim President Benny, United Liberation Movement of West Papua Provincial Government. Yo. Ana mamen fam free hana membusa ora Farouk Wahab. Ana, is it because we are spoiled for choices in tea?
Are they?
Because yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, o man who is here.
Oh, yo. You should be.
Me say enra mamen kan sem bi na sere kakra. Na me ko baby me mo hodin. Na me ko small business bi. E na me ko say Ghana ambassador to one of the oceanic countries. Na ojina ho a o kasa na meeting na numa se na me ti opa na me say kwan ba ne fa so yi no. So onko jina Ghana anamu. E wo sa man so. If the nsɛm a na ɔka me mu na nimtia ba no kora na meka no ne nsɛm a na ɔka kora nsisi so ne nsɛm a ɔka no ensia ni na nkampe sɛ watimi ate asɛm na ɔka na se timi ebusa mo sɛ kwan bɛ ne ɛfa so a ye wɔ nipa a wɔ mu nim de ye wɔ nipa when it gets to certain areas a wɔn yɛ well resourced, well versed in those areas, but eduru bra ye pe nipa amoma boa amianwini oman achichiro oman no a yenhunu wom. And we cover our eyes with politics. Ni afa obi akeke. Ye nakoto o ambassador to this place, o ambassador to that place. And at the end, yenhunu faso de bia ye tumi enya afro momu e de aba oman no. Is it because you are spoiled for choices? Wow, Moha.
I think it's all country, it's about priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also about choices.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have availability of, let's say, or choices to make out of the lot.
Mm-hmm.
What do I say? But then you have to match it with your priorities. Now, matching with also so expected results. Now, country Ghana, over the years till today, what I do know or what I do believe in is we are swollen-headed in our own minds.
Yes,
Ghana is a typical, let me call it, more or less, neutral land. And then I say at the same time like Switzerland of Africa. And
yes, Switzerland of
Africa. Yes. And we don't really care. But the unfortunate aspect of the whole fact is that Yababinya political alignment,
mm-hmm.
and it has invaded a socio-economy and then traditional cultural settings and then tribal settings in
Imu.
And to that political alignment, and then Ababinya distinctive approach and attitude and separation of the country, or quite a complicated and a complex destinies. Let me put it that way.
That's your destiny, no?
Yes.
You said that any a particular destination in sight. Whether you belong to ethnic group A, ethnic group B,
yes.
Whether you are from a social orientation C, yes. Or Q, we have not actually focused our minds.
No, you need a focused direction as a country. And the country, we need that focused direction. You are bound and always you have to suffer. And indeed, Ghana cannot say we are not suffering. Ye suffer. What I say. But it's a matter, and I say admittances. Whether we admit indeed, say ye nim, and I will admit indeed say yahon we admit indeed say yakechi, and we have to run. But what because Obi culture say the dream of Africa is my country, and I'm referring to Rwanda, Kigali. Obi say I'm the pride of Africa, and I'm referring to Kenya. And Ethiopia and others, they're talking about what really matters and what really is important. Who they also allow maintaining the gateway to Africa. So you are the watchman of Africa. And watchman is not highly paid.
Well, you say, yeah, watchman.
Yeah, in Ghana all the time. That is the country's gateway to Africa. And watchman is not highly paid as compared to the bosses. I'm surprised. Say any organization, I'm sorry, say security no get to honor. Say bin salary so chair obi or managing director. So the priorities have not been set right. And the country is not prepared, say, Yens treaty and Yama. So we involve policy advocates. Indeed, for policy advocates or formulators or those who formulate policies, I'm sorry, they are not billionaires in any country.
Yeah.
They are not known by their own citizenry.
Yeah.
They sit back. They are not millionaires. They don't live in plush and flashy houses or flashy homes. They are gifted people with certain natural wisdom called natural wisdom. But what they say, these are the people who put a niyama together and advise a nation. And the country can look at them, cry, and then they have results because they'll give them the policies that they're looking for. And when the policy is formulated, designed near the state now you're talking about leadership.
Yeah. And
those who are prepared say also push the agenda. And that brings you talk about people like Lee Kuan Yew, Chema Mao. In today's modern world, you can talk about Obi say your friend say Paul Kagame. You can talk about this world people like Botswana leaders, Namibia leaders, and even worst case scenario, even Ethiopia.
A Namibia leader just recently, Chakwera.
Yes.
Just recently, he says that he was leaving a year Windhoek to UK for an education summit a year virtual.
You see, they are serious because their political father. You bring my Namibia, so let me talk just 1 minute on it. Sam Nujuma, who is the godfather of the politics of Namibia, SWAPO, Southwest African People's Organization. It was a branded terrorist organization, rebel organization. Sam Nujuma was branded as a rebel. Till today, he says there. He calls the boys. He calls the party AB. Any party opposition or whatever, not his own party, the SWAPO, they will go to him. So the country has a strong leadership who sits at the back, directing affairs. It's not different from a country like Botswana. From the time post-colonial colony, they went to the UK Queen and told the Queen, say, we will use our Tswana language in our school, and that our children and our students will have a common understanding of whatever that they're teaching them, and will not speak your Queen's English. Look at that country to today. For the more than 10, 15, 20, 30 years on the African continent, African history, they've never been out of the best 5 economies in Africa.
Yeah.
We are not. African rhetorics, good speech, lengthy speech. We are very good, say, about lobbying for a Ghana president to speak on international podium. That is all what we spend our energies and synergies. After that, or final the Shahabia, they look on their shoulders on the aircraft when they are coming back. And then I need to say, no, bro, for no day, no more day. Then they all laugh. Or maybe see Accra, business as usual. And you know, the choices that you made mention of, yes, we have the availability of the men out there, good number of them. Surprisingly, many international organizations around the world, either the African Union, the United Nations, and all the umbrella groups under the UN or the commissions under the UN, whether it be UNHCR, UNDP, FAO, all those boxed together. And the international community, the United Nations, BBI, how do we call it, European Union. So whenever there's something that bothers on Africa, you find, say, African Ghana nation. Because they rely on our good handwritings. They rely on our good speeches. The practicality contest and the content of practicality. And when the say, yeah, but we will rather do the talk and will not act.
Why the car said my the practical aspect of a BBR, I'm trying to say, said you okay, we mount the international podium. And someone there over here, na ya kuche gukrata so, na ya kujina wiasi amansenyi na enim, na ya kanya de guho. After that, the kosuntia in your own analysis. Say ya kan sem na wie no, ya ba bedru fear near the ensashi demri fam, near to na ya woso yesre.
Say abrofonum oma makrum ha. Omnim se Ghana ye here for. Bruni bia Ghanaian leader big Jan and him nakasabi. Omnim say a well-resourced and well-endowed country, yes, of course, natural resources. But then in terms of economy and then how the country citizenry or the population in Sofano, they don't believe it unless they come here. And in Ghana play the diplomatic race or play game no very cleverly. Or portray a good picture. Now, dear Mayen say, it is among the very few countries, no more than 3 or 4 in the whole worldwide, are unya opposition right the day of independence, and that is where the cause. And then politicians of Ghana have not sat down and said, we made a mistake. It's a terrible mistake. Let's correct the entry, reverse the entry, and settle and open it up. Now you neutralize the base. You set the agenda called the developmental agenda. Now you find your man.
Will it be feasible?
It is possible.
So, for example, we go back to the base. Now, you say we have political party ABC.
Yes.
And then the political party ABC will say, it's okay. Yeah, the Embrano ne Juma, but yeah, Embrano for the past 28 years.
Yes.
Embrano and Shadam Wayan. What we need to do now is a representative approach to our governance system.
Yes.
How would you say be a party A, B, C, D? And I'm asking this question on the hindsight, say, dear chum, and the apparent vindictiveness and divisiveness that when there is an issue, Kasafa almost say party A takes an entrenched position, party B takes an entrenched position, and you happen not to see, say, at a point in time, as someone and Kabebuama and Puntuabano, there is nothing like consensus and as a alignment to that particular cause.
And only a stupid freedom deliberations. We call it stupid freedom deliberations. And he said, I repeat and I say it again. It's a country, no, yenya opposition from day one. And we have tried very hard not to correct it. That is not to say, Oba Benya one party. And now say Obiama join the party B or C. No. Democracy offers the chance. So be at meeting the party. But when it comes to national agenda, developmental agenda, yes indeed, who rude mete kwabenya, mifiseke kwabenya. There are a lot of roads that link.
Yeah.
You will be able to go through road A at a shorter pace. Or be able to go road B at a longer pace. The bottom line is what is within the ambit, in the eyes of the national agenda, developmental agenda, no, you will not deviate from it.
Yeah.
And that is the results.
That's it. We have a focus.
We should have a focus.
And your ideal.
No,
and your orientation.
You cannot go out of the line. You cannot go out of the line. I'm yet to understand and see, football rules and regulations have been laid forth over 1,700 years. Yes, a penalty, a 18-yard box, and yes,
yeah,
penalty at the tour, keep on quantity gym.
yeah.
Me who referee, walk park so. No catch as a penalty, no. Met him for 2 keepers, and I'm from 2 keepers, madam sanity. Why? Because the statutory agenda had been drawn, had been enacted and fixed. Say in your first football penalty, 1 keeper, 1 player, and yes, sir. Enti bokbo no connect me to mashe. Utu na ya ansa ni abobo na so beto me empase no foforo. This is what a country with developmental agenda fix. And that has taken countries to succeed. Oye na agenda na, no aye na policy. No aye na roadmap on that policy and how to achieve your aims and goals. Yeye diano, it is not like that. In the party biaba, was the MPP manifesto. Mbachisa wotate.
Itipa.
Party biaba was the NDC manifesto. Say wotate. Where from that? Where from that nonsense? Where is that? Is there anything in NPP manifesto that is not beautiful? Is there any NDC manifesto that is not beautiful? Why read it? And which one of them deviates the normal knowledge and senses and expectation of national development? Bibia meto tabak amamu, mamam tomatoes, mesham boxer shorts, mechuchu osiamau, mamam unsumi, ninyina minim. Do they do it? So, we are talking about a cohesive, comprehensive marriage of agenda developmental programs. And we put them in one basket and sanitize. Select, choose, and pick. Niamfanye national developmental agenda. So when your MPP now ba, when you say agenda A, your first year, your second year, you are dealing with agric. You cannot come and tell me say I'm dealing with football. You cannot come and tell me say I'm dealing with defense. The country is not at war. You cannot come and tell us say you want to go say we company we a program we meant to also because me manifesto also supports this kind of program. And 2 years or punish the country. And it is stupid freedom deliberations. Because Ufi say you are at liberty. Why when the election? Party no winner takes all. The obekano obi ntimi nkabi. The also bad obekano obi ntimi nkabi. Papa, you are talking about fix the country.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten there.
You know.
But I'll swipe or take a scoop of it. Country, no, it's about money that you manage a nation. It's about finance that you manage a nation with. And to wo ba, nese won't follow the country need developmental planner. Se bosia ni akope o, se revenue ni ebda na, you would always make sure say obese no, and you cannot succeed in the Ghanaian president, Ghanaian leader biaba or struggle because the national developmental agenda, the plan focus on any continuity. There is a break, and long as there is a break, you cannot focus. And not long as there is you can't focus, you are bound. Say, obeye a bit jittery. Waso abeye she. After 1 year, now to abane which country in this world that president elected? Oko campaign the whole country obi ehun wa ho fe udada ho brofo twi no bibia odagban wo kan bibia wiye no obe woni wiya wa betena office unyi wu ministers on formal government who is so 4 months me say for Thanksgiving mpacho are you crazy? What Thanksgiving when? So you spend 4 good solid months out of your governance because the activity of a serious government starts from the first hour. And tomorrow, journalists, say, Mr. President, as you leave the swearing-in ceremony and you go to your office, Mr. Ghana President said, the first day in office, they celebrate with good food. Good food. Now members are better now. No more say, and when in Chiano Cabesi, yeah, boom, say, pow. Hey, pow. And in the first day, in the first week, the second week, the third week, in Yinano, or the Pampan who office. But what I say? And the first cabinet meeting, no, yeah, no Konekukuti. disfocus, malfunctional, maladjusted. So if that adjustment is completely misadvised, that is where from day one you didn't get it right. So you can't have it right day two.
So we've not been getting it right from day one.
It is because Mr. Busa almost said the first day in office, you sworn in, we're free. Your friends, Independence Square now work office. No, yeah, Mumusum said the first day, no, and then yeah. Now government, why a campaign? One full good year campaign, 1 full year. You're crying for my friends electioneering year.
Yeah.
Now electioneering year, your man of power. Now the 6 months, now to mean formal government. But what I say? Only 4 months. Who Minister of Trade, who Minister of Agric, who Minister of Finance.
8 months. You who heads of certain institutions, boards. You name a year MMDC is almost
you did not prepare in the first place to lead a nation. You did not prepare in the first place to administer a nation. You did not prepare in the first place to govern a nation. You did not prepare in the first place to manage a nation. But you prepared the first place to rule a nation. So you separate between administering and management from rulership. So you're ruling a country, you're not leading the country. If you want to lead the country, you would have led the country right down when you were campaigning to be a president. That is when you lead the country. So the focuses and the emphasis will be there. Yebehu the echo. And you can the one now with the banana. Brony Prime Minister, me who's were used to 1 week. Because your campaign and any ministerial list are better.
Yeah.
And yes, sir.
Only the data.
And from day one, and Obianim the Oko, the next day, Papa, no Marco, transition taking place. Ba Obia Enajuma. Where dear Afina Conconsaf will be room, lobbying near front to my
chopper,
for now reading the former girlfriend ba, Nani Dada ba, no way ba, Naha, ya reverse your chum, Naha tribal setting, just a politician, a 21st century government, country like Ghana. Obi timi kachira will say. Obi timi kachira will say. Yenye tribal balance. Yes, sir. When we are talking about competency and ability, capability to do the work, you're talking about tribal balance. Are we not mad? And it's an issue on hand. And that issue on hand.
Is it an issue?
Yes.
Ye nim se eye empanyin fo no a.
They know.
When we di anim no, they know. And that this is the question that they have deliberately decided not to take an action on that.
The willingness is not there.
If you say the willingness, I want to understand. Ura Wahab, the willingness from where?
From they themselves. Because say country, no, I mean sure. Ghana is not aware. The politicians are aware. The Ghanaians are not aware of their country, no, their structure. The elitism contest, the elitism system now, injected, manifested, invoked in Ghanaian system, no. And paying and they are not prepared to change the status quo. Meaning, say, this is a country, the whole world, who says one of the most educated nations on the African continent. But this is a country between you and I locally, no. We have about 60% high illiteracy rate.
Yeah.
But what you say?
Yes.
Because whereas say MP say highly educated, we are talking about only about 5-7%. Whereas say we're talking about say Nigeria for no, about 90% of Nigerians something somehow English.
Yeah.
French countries somehow or you're uneducated Kwana.
French. Yeah.
But Ufri Accra, your friends a circle, Eddie do of Anko. What self Anko barrier? When you're top in Sawama, Uncle Sabro from Kwanauti. When you're top, Winniba, won't do Winniba, Kaswaha, Brofa, bet you bit my area. Or maybe I wish and beyond Brofo. So compare to that other countries we claim see in Madiache womb.
A country like Zimbabwe.
You cannot.
Country like Kenya.
Every Zim will read. Kenyan will very read.
Every Rwandan.
Every Rwandese. What can? Look, it's so sad. Because some of us, we've had a touch, the international touch, and we move a lot. So we've seen countries are overtaking. What's not flights? Kenya. What language do they speak? First language comes with FM. But what I say? What's Kenya Airways? First language or Kamuhari? What's Rwanda? First language or Swahili? What's South African Airways? Or Zulu? First language before English. Sure, country Egypt. What's no kind of Arab? Tunisia, no kind of Morocco, no kind of San, what kind of French, what kind of colonial language. Ghana was fly all almost everywhere. Yeah, compressive brofono. We'll say you fly pesos, no. Then I know tofum. I beg your pardon. No decision. 98.9 FM. But international flight, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg your pardon. Saneko. And ye national cohesive one planted focus. Yema ye niema. Mbacha what I say? Yema ye niema yema one. The division biaka na political colors. It exists everywhere in this world, but national agenda, no, you don't deviate and you don't touch the dial of the national agenda. When you touch it, say yeah, dear, you suppress the citizenry because your tima moma is illiterate. You suppresses the citizenry because they don't understand the system. And indeed, face the country demonstration. I can tell you, even the youth, many begin come up. They are doing it, but they don't understand what they're doing. They are demonstrating all right.
I'll have my main messages back home. Also, the youth, they do not know, some of them, they do not know what they are doing. They are doing it.
No.
But they do not know.
No.
Okay, Meba, my main koha, quickly. A message from Benjamin Latte from Michelle Campbell said there is a place here where they dump rubbish. The soldiers hide in the bush one dawn and caught all those dumping rubbish that morning and made them clear the whole area that day. From that day till now, nobody throws rubbish there. Yes. If the system is working, we will be forced to change our attitude. Thank you very much. Benjamin, this is what I'm saying, you know. We can fix the country, but if we fail to fix our attitude, fixing the country will be useless. Because...
Let me correct you there. We haven't dealt with the subject of the fix the country.
No, we've not.
Because of the
message.
Let me correct you there. Fixing a country and then telling the populace or telling the citizenry to fix your attitude. There are two different meanings to any of them.
Okay.
You fix a country, that means lead the country. When you're leading the country, automatically the systems comply and move along with it. Obin kanche broni ba se onfa bola en konkoto wati tofi di na onfa nkoto eyimo mba cho wati aje na se enti wo say the attitude. Yes, who leads the attitude? Who leads the attitude? Who enacts the law? The law no is designed say obiba eden ekoto bola twa bontina. It's an arrestable offense. Obiba ekoto etwa bontina onu yentimi nche no. So how do you fix the attitude? How should the citizenry also fix the attitude? COVID around the world. United States of America. Yeah, COVID before you depart. Udrabant American arrival, obi your COVID, no. On your test. Or say, go home and quarantine yourself. Obi do achi. Why do you go and quarantine yourself? The system works. Trump and I say Joe Biden they do achi kofi. Uko Germany, udu arrival, obi anyo COVID. Go home and quarantine yourself 2 weeks. Why do you go there and then you quarantine yourself 2 weeks? It is because the leadership had laid forth. They fixed the system there. And the system wants you without anybody following you. Who tells you, say, UK? How many people arrive at Heathrow Airport a day? 2 weeks. 10 days, so Are you trying to tell me, say, that passenger hub of the UK airport, Heathrow, about 12 to 20,000 passengers in about arrive a day? No? Your 20,000 monitors will be a chikufiana. Is that how we are talking about? That is not how the system works. Enact the law, regardless of who is involved, regardless of whom it affects. The system leads itself. The system speaks for itself. The judiciary speaks for itself. And everything, all the other it follow. But we have destroyed that particular system. And we have to rebuild. It's not just by math. What the people seek to do, or what is seeking to attract, I a friend fix the country. Me, I will not use the word fix the country. I'll rather suggest to fix the economy. When your economy is fixed, it has a total effect. Now you fix the economy, you are prepared and you are able to make stronger laws. And the stronger laws, it connects with your judiciary. It connects with the compliance. It be connected with the people who are also to make sure the law works. But John Diaze. Now call down some glifrema. Now Madame for Bruni bi ho. Kofa gave bi ho. Austrian citizen or Bulldog. French Godfrey. Bruni no so glifre get no so hon what. If your team no WC, no toilet. Bruni pa memene no ne call a certain school in Europe. Highly qualified personality. At a point, he was chosen to be the Austrian, how do we call it, UK ambassador. Masa abeko no ayi ni toilet in the shores. A G for Monfan Chairman. Now, Kwane Shiti on Suina Noa. Obi Akachem says, good, nice breeze. From a fan. Obetima Kwayesadi. Was it out of love? I shit in the sun. For 3 years. Was it good to see women and young women and old people, all of us line up and we are all shitting? It's a good feeling. Now, you get it? And please, it is not only to fix a country. Any serious nation fixes your economy. The drive.
So whatever it is that we are looking for, is the economy. Because okay, now I understand, because if the economy is working, a man for a year juma, a man for Nyasika, when Nyasika the year baby Emra wo hwa e wo se odisu obi abetiase ye ka kire wo se enkonko tungro nwa bonten na tungro gu dustbin mo ese so wo scanty no obetimi ato dustbin obetimi subscribe for any waste
okay kakra
exactly
me pa che wo ton niema wa be she pass road aya constructing ya bridges Kofanko bridge na se for Medina I overhead na se
yeah
Kosek overhead na se nipa timi sisa ni niema no a restaurant, shop bar.
I was here.
Who have told them anything? Now, all China grow, no more grow.
Then there becomes a settlement.
Who should fix their character? Bridge on a year. And the time also was a concerned association members of underground sellers. Now, AMB or no acquired tax, legitimizing the wrong. And how do you fix such a country? How do you fix such a country? How do you tell the people to fix the attitude? How? On fixing attitude insane. You have to lead, fix the attitude of yourself, fix the attitude of your administration, fix the attitude of your laws, compliance, and let the people follow the lead.
Leadership by example.
Example. Leadership. We don't like somebody, we need only a leader. Chinese. Post-Second World War, when the world turned against them because of their problems with Japan, and even though they fought with the Western allies, when the war was over, Chinese became an enemy of the world. They decided not to do politics. They decided to choose a leader. Until today, Communist Party chooses a leader, not who will come and speak. Come with your program. When the bad team did COVID, I grounded the whole world. I'm a Chinese are stronger. That is what they are doing. leadership. Leadership.
And for us, we've not had some.
You don't have. Because we don't groom them. We join. We don't groom. And serious nations groom.
That's another issue that you've raised there. Another point that you've raised there.
I said, we don't groom them.
We don't groom our leaders.
No.
They just enter.
They join the system. And South is the country demonstration. Some of us, we cannot join. The reason is that it hurts my heart and my soul to see, say, politicians in this country, some of them, shamelessly, so youth, allow them. Let the youth now all suffer. Or university. Our bre only baby. Let them talk. Now more than $20 million ego accounts man who they are. Now for political expediency and the political jogging. No could she say, "Oh, fix the country." Unya chance no more fixing the say. How many and how much have all of them fixed this country? It's not a fix the country. Fix the economy. Let me have my economic freedom. Don't give me a political freedom. I want economic freedom. That is the Chinese ideologies. What did look on you? How do we call it? Your friend is saying, Chairman Mao Kai. I say, I will not give you political freedom called democracy. I'll give you industrial freedom. And at the right time, those with political freedom will chase after you. That time, I'm gone. But you have the happiness to live. That is Chinese today. Why there was so unim party be or China? Your democracy or China? Paul Kagame, the most undemocratic president on the continent of Africa. Go out there and see things that he's doing. About what I say. Now, meaning when you raise the subject, we tackle the issue of the face the country.
I feel understand here, but there are a couple of messages that people are sending in personally.
Okay.
Or say this one is from Niawule. Or say, if I kindly tell our Wahab that I love him very much, and about 2 years now, I am suffering to get his contact.
Okay.
I think not just him, not just Niawule. There is another one here. Good afternoon, Mr. Sifa. Please, can you help me get Mr. Al Wahab's contact? I'm a person of Otumani Joseph, student of UDS. Contact. I think that let's now.
I'll give you to them.
Let's get into the fix the country demonstration.
Okay.
A course and a.
Okay.
Do you believe that this will have any impact or whatsoever on say ABA in the interim, not in the long term? In the interim, some of the enyamanwa mabunu no mo yechre eneno ekano yebe fix it.
I strongly disbelieve Sebit Mayejuma. Because today, and then you may ebedu China and opano. You better government communications to disagree on points raised by the youth, and that the government is doing all her best to solve the problems of the youth. Yebenya party stewards, yebenya politicians, ubenya so obi kabia ma youth na ye opposition. Ubenya ma obi kabi said the youth no ye no any omunyama points o ma raise no ye correct ana say or support no na ye omususu a o ma ba abam echo. Now I'm about BEM, and I'm referring to the NDC. I'll not cover anybody here. Any politician be able to youth ne support to be because they are also willing to come or they wish to come back to power. But the youth are separate, neutral. Omaseme mobo. The Ghanaian youth. Omaseme mobo. This is the country that the youth do not know how to demonstrate. This is the country that the youth are so calm they cannot talk. This is the country that the complete youth, where we SHS, the next destination a traffic light, now or home for glasses and so on demonstrating. This is a country or what traders, beautiful girls, beautiful women, a man and crash omachi, a man, young girls. Now who traffic man? Now in crime so far or shell stick where he prone to come and hips are fine. No, the tones you. What does it seek to tell you? Are we happy seeing the youth wasting their energies and their time? And when would they redirect and reconstruct and bring back their life to normalcy? Have we talked about that? Have we thought about that? Of free poor home. What you call SHS were we? The bus stop air. Do you tell me, say a youth at 18 years, or best one near Massa 35 no so near? How do you have a country obi of 45 years no a Shushan boy? You can't call him Shushan man, no. Shushan boy at 45 years. How many of them out there? Fix the country is fix the economy. Now let's come to why the country has not been able, we haven't been able to fix. Because we've not been able to fix the economy. And how do we fix economy of a country?
Why have we not been able to fix the economy?
And then I make sure, sir, I'm surprised, and very surprised. So we've had in our rare time, you have two governors, deputy governors of Bank of Ghana, i.e. Pakwesi and Mr. Late, i.e. Dr. Mumuni Baumia, current, present, vice president. Yabenya Bank of Ghana governor, former Dr. Kufo, which may be finance minister, and many others. The country we are not fixing because we are concentrated on internally generated fund stupidity, lazy economy. When countries are talking about creating wealth, you can only create wealth to fix your economy, not to rely on internally generated fund.
And we've not been creating wealth.
We don't create wealth. Well, tell me one single wealth. Let any economists in Ghana here, let the professors, and I'm referring to the government economists, to tell me how we create wealth in this country. What wealth have we created? What wealth have we created? Countries become popular, rich, or liberty. Obi anti-may millionaire. God didn't create God a world like that. Obi anti-may millionaire. But marginally, Obi na honto kakra. Those are the countries that create wealth. And the wealth is the finance. The wealth is the money. The money is what goes into the system and liberate the people. Then you turn the country into a service nation by allowing the people who are benefited from the wealth now creating unfair tax in that country to move forward. Who your internally generated fund? Who get taxes? But you've not given the money. You haven't created the wealth for the people to tap on. Now, a taxer. It's not lazy economy. Now let me explain. And I bring countries into perspective. The Republic of South Africa. Only the biggest gold mining company, a country in the whole of Africa. Sika omu di ene nsamani omu di wo kromo ne ade no country onya budget deficit da or budget surplus. Why? O create wealth. How do they create the wealth? New gold industry. Gold is cash. Gold is money. The precious minerals. On cotton concession ma individual biso kotu. Na me ame de me pem kotu ya me ba me siminya 10 grams into me 5% tax. There be. Onwana na etu ni gold. Onwana na manage the mineral resources. Onwana na nim ekwa ofasudi ni nsuo. Onwana no se me pollute me forest.
Yeah.
Onwana na se area ha no enkofo ha me ntu gold no wa ha. Heat beba ha ensuo besai. Ono anti se wo company bi na person ko to gold or South Africa. Fabra government concession na abane monitor utu a wogina ho wogi a wagene de entu to gold no wata ama wasase ne so. Enti wo wosikani enough. On baby amfuturo ho. Watimenya bi akata ne kuro nsu nyina times. Wa create wealth. Watimenya bi ediama bank. Akacha bank and say you can only borrow money to Frempong at the percentage of 5%. Frempong ye so we adwuma bi na peso ya. Oko bank wa we ni bibi friend collateral South Africa ni be na sifi or the collateral. But ya what the program na beto ho ye discard man. at a low interest rate. And then money intimi nyusu nadwin enya adwuma employ woman graduate no na abonten. United States of America or create wealth no created to hono or bet turn country into a service nation in a way say or this country ni sika edibi ku education from point jiko school also jiko school no a training mama be high professionals na wa ba be hospital no wa ba be we see into hospital no ye adwuma into America dentist kra no otu obisia or sika high government in the tax onya tax until the country gets enough of wealth money from internally generated fund because of government in create wealth of funds and Odima Bank. Chairman, one single government of the Republic of Ghana post-independent wetimama bank bisa munji sika at a discounted interest rate na monfama citizen nunya adwuma without collateral. Ebacha nana do ayebi no. President Mama Oyebi no. President Mills Oyebi no. President Kufo Wanye. President Rollins no. Liman no. Reverse up to independence post. Obien ho ye. And the country no create wealth. Let's talk about cocoa. It is your biggest income. Cocoa no. Chame government of Ghana GOG nisika odiato kukuda. And how do you create wealth? Sikana adikoto cocoa, your friend is syndicated loan. Wako Switzerland. Na wako ji Bosia. Wako ji Bosia or Switzerland ho. Cocoa ye nyanchaye. Cocoa ni nyawodia. Farmer ni ye individual. Ghanaian farmers wo ye ni papa o. So decide this afi ye no cocoa.
But some of them have even started agitating.
And I'm sure so no cocoa ni be betima bono. What's your income? Sikana adi beto cocoa na nyawodia. Wako je Bosia. Udibi. We have a cocoa access to the century. Now countries now are not using wealth, no. Egypt, the salt that gives Egypt money, no. Any individual any two salt. Government of Egypt any two salt. Or the military any two salt. But you hear me? And a country be say, Ethiopia. Only the leader of export of your friend saying coffee on the continent of Africa. Farms in individuals there. Individuals now large farm and peasant farming, large scale. One money loan and or the into the export no into the taxes and a big revenue.
Do no dog coffee ni via a buying company big na or
cooperative farming. Your friend no your your friends off-takers. Why are off-taker mano? And one money loan. So we are never Benjamin loan ko Jeffrey Bank koda fuo no me je koko a coffee no na me dia ko China akoton off takers agreement ni da ho.
So practically say me summarize asem na okana when you're creating wealth,
yes,
you let the money circulate within the system
and everybody has it.
Okay,
so everybody has it. You cannot tax them. Uma mi sika mi di cotton tomatoes na me ama ko bobo sia di tomatoes na abaye fo jina ni abob ni agem tax. How do you create a wealth? How do you fix such a country? It's misguided economic approach and cheapest way of doing economics. Because if you want to turn a country into a service nation like Switzerland, you must have what it takes to turn the country into a service nation. If you want to turn a country like UEA, United Arab Emirates, a service nation, Dubai, a concept city.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because what created the enabling environment of the wealth.
Yeah.
I'm obia who said for Wanyama Braha Yebeto. Anything over 49, 51 to 49%. We are all working on Abeya Juma say, my emirate you 51% now for 49. What creative wealth in the at all? What we emirate also a commandant wakoda. Now, other countries have taken the knowledge and as we are taking the system of getting also from airline industry. And I'm referring to the same Ethiopia. So Ethiopia airline now. Our Dreamliners not less than 35 Dreamliners. How many Ethiopians are in the industry of the airline industry? How many young boys and girls are sitting in the cockpit flying? How many of them? And why employ women? what the national carrier Ethiopia Airlines and the creating wealth as the second force of the country's national income, creating wealth. And so akwa ye roader. Ethiopia Airlines sika wa create krano empafa so no etumi Accra Kumasi. Kenya flowers, Kenya tea, Kenya coffee, any others no.
Kenya tourism. Or didn't who abandon didn't who
no creating money no. And what Timmy Dima Bank say industry so my read Monko Jessica Lamonfa na muntimi fe di pano adwuma. Now country 30 million population 5% and a year adwuma was government or friends civil and public sector.
Yeah.
Now civil and public sector no obia oye watchman ewo your friend is saying GBC. Ni salary is 600. Who got in tax a friend social security in the water VAT in nonsense no. What in England say can na wakwati be sister Ghana. Wait the sister Ghana a road. You are crazy. How can 5 billion people solve the road problems of the country? How can 5 billion people how to get 5% of the total population over tax in a bit my one road? And we need wealth, we need income. And I'm saying, say, don't sit and rely on Obi Akoya Juma German Europe. And in Niama or the Abba Temaport. Then you see Temaport as your main income. You are not a service nation. You have the resources. You have the cocoa. How well are you involved in the cocoa? What is cocoa board? Cote d'Ivoire we need cocoa board. Cote d'Ivoire we need cocoa board or management. What is the sense of all our boards are BBN? Because Cote d'Ivoire, the government herself, and nan kasa no de ho awura cocoa no odobi. And no ato cocoa no. And the Canada awado. And no agi loan de ma farmers na omo able. A obema no cocoa no. No otua ne ka. Ento otua cocoa higher than you. Ono ade ne dia kan wakoton. Cote d'Ivoire export banana. Or export abe. Majority ade na say. Enti the country is creating wealth. O bauxite wuntu. O diamond ya na utu. O clinker na na utu. O gold na na ye. O gold na na utu. O wealth na creating way. Into the den na be the benyeska.
O oil.
With the 10% empire and adema 90% would yache. And you don't have any income as a country. You are only dependent on taxes and to be introduced every year or necessary because you're lazy. A lazy economic approach. Simple as the Ghana problem you know. Because ya agent said there be a boka kobobosia. Na country be na kobo loan e obru ni ho e betua wo salary. Abra wo koko a wo mpese obedo.
No we are san kwa kobobosia aba betua bosia na kobo e
nika. Na me na me cho say. Wo koko no. On the Chinese premier be by premier na president Kufuor e also no. Unjintao.
Yeah.
Or say, so no na ye prime minister and our president will come her. And the whole country will be better Ghana, Accra. Because 30 million population, Accra land in bit my friend 30 million. Greater Accra bit my friend 30 million. Not the rest of the country in a cocoa farm, and Ghana will be the richest country in the world. Tienyansa Papaneka. Because I will say, when I was in the airspace, and before Sober land, we seek permission to tour the country Ghana. Also, we've not made use of our country. Land in it, 600 kilometers, na banchi ba kupinisi so. Now, creating wealth is the fact that one farmer, wako jina ho, ade ne ma, ade ni kunu, e kom. Farmer bi okro ma bi ane belt ate. Ado
ni pieto twate.
The belt, wa niyama manate. I get me. Na farmer na dua ne board there, wo twa board there no de ababegu adeso junction. Yanto belde na ne brain nyina for the whole year ni you waste. What ben wa create? Farmer ne den tax na ba kwa akwaje no. E die scan ade man na otimi do na fu. By day for kwa went man ton body ontwa ne ka. The same by day for na de ko police station. Wakodo ama no 2 days when twa ne ka oda counter back. Ansa ne akopa bosia ohina ba ba yi no. Such a country. Country ayetimi hwie pineapple season nyina tugu. Country ayetimi hwie watermelon nyina tugu. Country akoma dan. Tomatoes ebe wia. Boys ndi bi wari wia de aka nyina hwie.
Ifyegu.
Yari tomatoes bubo nipa. What ben wa create a ode ba akwaje tax. Now ministries of Ministry of Finance, the entire working force in Namuni 1,000. Fan some 1,000. Yet will be a tax every month to crown 500 Ghana, which of course they do because be salary create 2,000 and work at 500. Who can Ministry of Finance taxes are internally generated fund Omian Horn, saying. So who call an internally generated fund? And I hope because a ministry. A home creating may be money, apart from who commissions in it, or will be creating money. Ministry Nankasa. What your workers in the taxes are, the whole maintenance. Mumusa Minister of Finance, ministry workers of intern, the whole Ministry of Finance, the whole nation, or more tax will contribute to your saying. And to better than that, school die. Minister of Defense, workers in your working force in your saying. And the military, the defense ministry. And what what's in the saying? So
I will have my mentias here. Because from a year your analysis, no, one thing stands out very clear. And it's that we've not been productive.
Sorry?
We've not been productive.
Not at all.
We've been wasteful.
We've been totally, completely wasteful.
All this while.
We've been wasteful because we have not, as a country, enacted or advanced the policy of creating wealth. Creating wealth is creating money. So the country should lead, the government should lead. Make the money and tell the banks. Now, unfortunately, individuals no matter home sika boom. And I call you from say, shareholders, and no bet in the bank. What woman is sika? And no one no room sika. And maybe this year got to what your free business COT charges on transaction. And no more tete edition and workers. Now,
a month we yet me bear 15 cities. Maybe I have to call the bank and find out.
COT and no also did. Na country na
on a savings account.
I don't know about J. I don't know the bedidi. And Tibente na bank no so akoyi obi sika. So Ghanaian banks are bush banks are say on take a risk. They are bush banks into take a risk.
Omusro.
Yes, of course. Because insurance be a guide loan. On betu, who could you loan betu insurance?
Yeah.
But you send insurance. Amount loan awajeno. Risk management or babagu because no when you're business minded. And to him dear cost. Because loan be a simple loan. 500 Ghana loan application, credit officer bet must stand in the window. Any serious nation, the amount. Ghana a board meeting. 500 Ghana cedis a board meeting. The bank is not the businessman because the government has not created wealth and given them money.
And
today be an individual to say who see Niama Ewonsuom now ni seminar. How do you want to about a befi? It is just about that. And the government no fee said demonstration crana yen no. If they are wise and they are smart, somebody must stay somewhere and say after ya bread. Their cost on too much. Yen changing the status quo. Who could loan now the Koto Land Cruiser is madness. But rather make money and buy Land Cruisers. They say government who could loan. Now the tall Land Cruisers now government officials. You're a crazy government. Whereas you have a cocoa as a condo. Share farms and chine aye tugu or down area. Shanchina Winneba area money you mean a tugu.
And chine is a critical a component of the oil industry.
And chine any gold, then is kaum. It is salt. Because gold has no economic viability. It has no economic viability. How many people, like I always said, how many people buy gold a day? Why never gold will come harder? What to gold that? Meaning to be that. Your friends from Point de Court of Carne, be as a girlfriend, you get the jar or copper gold to 1 gram. 1 gram.
Maybe never who be that. If it's not mythical, I'm say area.
Okay, just compared to Ensuayenum. Any gold, Janes Kaum. Commonsensically, and to invest in water production and export water to the Gulf.
Yeah.
You have money more than selling the gold.
I went to Jordan and they had to import water.
Avian from France.
Because they say they are water poor.
I said from France.
A water poor.
The whole Emirates, the whole Gulf region. Kuwait or importing so the Adisi Yamako importo and to be an exporter of water. One yet, why won't you? Who about water bodies? Why won't go to no? Why wouldn't you be? Namu ya de ya me ya my reho. Your economist who lead the country. Say adding value. Can you add value on something you didn't do? You didn't create it. Obi cordon the bench here was me added value. What did you add value?
Obeyam.
Odinisika na ekoyam. Odinisika na good transportation akofa banchi ne free krase. Na police officer so age banchi car no e de sikwanso because one so antima anya yi. Enti wo no add value na mo say Ghana will add value, Ghana will, we cannot add any value. You can't add value to cocoa, you are lying. What did that bear add? Cocoa na farm na nyodia. Cocoa kwaji na farm na ho wia. Wo na di ka kwaji syndicated loan na wo dey agis cocoa no hu sika bra onya nton ye. Na wo dey den na bear value na dey koma bruni no ato. Wo bear chocolate akoma Switzerland no ato chocolate. Na wo dey den ono ni income ba ko chocolate. Ni income ba ko chocolate. To ma unye chocolate from Ghana na fa bra no nto. Winim say wuntimi nya sa ade no. You know you cannot do it. You know you cannot do it.
So from the outside, we've not planned our economic future.
No.
And just be ad hoc. 1 month near
political jogging. We juggle. Political jogging. Because may can be students of this country. Ne mami be tuyen fees. Ne papa be tuyen fees. Some students loan de eye. Won't you say health industry? Ghana wa nurses chair baby. Export them for bigger markets. Export nurses to New Zealand. Where is the Minister of Finance, Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health? Come. We are working for countries, so we know what we are talking about. Export them. Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, or prepare nurses in the United States. So how would you have a burden from the citizens because nipa baako or triple or trickle down sika wa January abusuafo no. This is a country where individuals are share citizen amount. We need one dime a dime I will be them free ukrum ha. We need dime I was here. Young my demonstration day. Why no higher bind dime?
Now, with our now, and I know. And then say, "I bind the abet me them there."
And then I'm 20.
And then $120,000.
Oh, by your rent control laws, one can send himself one.
And
because 17 and a man.
Of course.
Or see my simi fee or 30 bedroom, no toilet. Wow, because she push.
Of course.
Even your loss.
Men are messing me fee. Single room with the budget 500 Ghana.
One money loan.
One
money loan. One money BBA. And tia brofono. Or kwaji low government was if ye. And tia kaya say council flat. Abana will be. Abana jidani be. Because Mexicania de ya entibusi ya the mano. No the amani citizens. And then FSA. Canada or Jidan was on my SF5 for Sokofa S7 about 2 account. UK and I may have my own power because what need Berman Quater need Delsa when the car in the Mantria, Yamani Dankesia. What die out there will be a chroma where obey rent law. Chairman, you have not created wealth. You're only depending on internally generated anti-yang tax. Now, to one you crab ban your buni pasaka by other one tax 2 cedis.
1 cedi.
1 cedi tax now booby. Now this our tax in the country be rude. And you know, they fix the country. No, there's nothing called fix the country. It is fix the economy. The rest of the forces all follows in line. And the system corrects itself. Because the people are not poor. The people are not poor. My examples. Only the biggest hub in terms of average percentage of passenger traffic in Ghana is the biggest hub. We need one single Bandarati aircraft, a Fenipa 6, the actual Republic of Ghana. How do you go and buy defense aircraft?
111 million euros.
Euros. What do I say? How do you do that?
Edema Ghana Armed Forces.
Now, how do you do that? Because, in terms of need, the country security doesn't. But you munipa na only interview catch him say, a friend is saying, terrorist information minister said,
don't with
but your friend don't me chat baby I'll be a Saudi. But you be information minister terrorist in no way. It's a peaceful country. Peaceful country. As Nigerian Igbo will tell you, peaceful. We need any strike. It is not true that any country can strike, any group can strike this country. It is not true. Any theories that any security couple will raise is a complete lie because they don't know the history of the country. Every country has a security threat, including the Vatican. Including the Vatican, only 450 citizens making the Vatican Holy See. The Swiss 58 or 48 men contingent are neutralize or a neutral body. Your friend say country guys na say guide the country. Krano weapons or yes or security threat. Not that withstanding, they know very well say nothing can shake up. Not that withstanding, Taiwan. One in the Chinese aggression, China will not strike. You were neutral countries. Country bear no sophisticated weapons such as Singapore. And so a neutral land, or Shahudi will no be an intokwa. And to say what ha. Now Timbe ready now and a defense and here yem budget in Mame Power. That is not what we need. Priorities first. The priorities is that Udu Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Anopa 5:30 a.m. Papa unia kuma ubesu. Kolebu 5 a.m. unia kuma ubesu. Meaning say kani suoni two bodies sinuguma. You find yourself say where are they taking them? Now aside that obia ne yire ne ba ana obia ne ba ana obia ni kunu ni nua da ho. Or that hospital. Onu no de diase paper so and oda ntuntum. And okwohwe yare for. Time ye be yare for no onu mum na say yare no ko. Because the system is that nurse ni kran ontimi because we were nurses susu wo fie. But we susu ni wealth. Won create money into ntimi fa more nurses.
Exactly.
Into ntimi keta. Won create wealth. Kolebu ntuntum no o ma invade windows in abubu. If you have wealth, you will not sit down for a load. What I say?
Sure.
To the extent say Holland government at a time, has to give Ghana Minister of Interior small money to do the migration digitization. Listen, international. Who does that? Now the BBA Kokoji Lona. And how do you fix such a country? You haven't fixed your economy. Until you say me pamacho. Mwankasa nsusuno. Muntie the ideologies. Na munsha the lines. Where you really set up the pace and where you want to have your discussion and interface with the government. And my young can be able to say you to by your political speech. The youth should also not be involved in political speeches. The plain and pops. You don't need that. Because the real issue is I've completed school with the sweat of my parents. That is the bottom line. I don't know how many street here demonstration. Apart from that, and then I do we call demonstration.
And all boils down to the economy.
It's one thing.
Bam.
And the youth who baby so focus on their priorities, any discussion they call. Don't go there and talk like a politician of yesterday, reading yesterday's newspapers and stories. Read current stories and relate to other places and see where the world is moving. An economy-related issue, nothing more. And the economic-related issue is that you to not fight to say Mayesika ni mko from kodo. Mayesika na bank miesika na mkodo cocoa. Mamisika mkodo tomatoes. Na beji tomatoes no cotton. Tell me one single product a ministry of your friends say trade. Ekroma product bako cotton. Na shut the Chinese Minister of Trade obe kroma nyama force no the baha. Because the leadership, the ministry is leading the product of the country to the other destination. I have ministry to me man in Sasso say European Union so to Ghana brobe. Into brobe no monwe. Munton roadside. My near ya muntu mu.
Eze with the Minjoano a briefing and namenam Evotaro in Quanos wa. Obo watermelon eso. Na me drew baby na ya hwe watermelon na go na me catch driver na me ni go yaw. Dina na me musa asem. Fi say me nwa. na muzaza watermelon no ade o say oh ye dey ba 3 days no bi ama meto e dia say
o de ade kata so a obi be wia Ghana on pese be wia ade bia mani so entu di voter regional wo kai afa dan belt ko nyina no amango sikwa no sa ni wurani ho amango sikwa no sa ni wurani ho. Where is the government? Where is your wealth now we will create? What economy now fix na dia koto amango no be ya juice na friend Ghana mangoes
organic mango.
Ghana organic mango never come market na to no bia hu so obi ti Jamaica obi ti Germany yes Ghana there we will duty free shop ye ni Ghana organic mango bia e ton ho na individual bia ya no squeeze kakra we wi awasa be kan just it doesn't match the international standards and therefore Food and Drugs Board cannot certify because machine ko edi chima mango no kokoro awere be ho na obi person ye mango juice obi person ye mango juice. The standard is that only machine papa certification only loan and to anwa miana ni a obakwa mango juice adi gu rubber ma begina ko ne kra ne nsem mu
abrobe juice nso kwa na numbie
ebisha ya hu bia o ma sha ya ye
na numbie
ye tietia so na wafu na so create no such a farmer no which is onya dan. And we have failed the country by not creating wealth. And if we have created enough wealth, we do not need money for our road construction. We do not need loan for our infrastructure. We do not need the system correct itself by creating employment. And no government can tell me, say, obetima creating employment without having, say, what creating money? I'm at the private sector and free loans. Easy loans and their year you might employ into employment or sector that is called the ministerial or sector now from the public and civil sector no wouldn't mean creating wouldn't mean taking more than 1 million police officers whereas your system cannot pay wouldn't mean for more soldiers it's a lie wouldn't mean for more people at the ministries it's a lie because they don't even have a place to sit.
Because they themselves are not creating any income.
Nothing.
I bet me a
internally generated fund kakran so amobagin BBT say Registrar General Department and your friend is Attorney General's office. Minister of Trade, Standard Board, Food and Drugs Board. Sikana umbe generate or honon and go into the system to seek to open up and also recruit. Sikana yeswa pa na consolidated young countries can government now Jesus can you back say my creative this year the government anticipate the government of Ghana is prepared to pay 1.3 million employment graduates way it's a fake news Trump it is a fake news we cannot we know we cannot and to me say how do we have such resources and rely on loans. And go out there. Cassava, cassava, Guinness and breweries around the world.
Yeah.
Chinese breweries, Korean breweries, German breweries. Omoto cassava, Omoto free Ecuador.
Thank you.
El Salvador, San Salvador, Colombia. And then Omedu Tex and Caicos, St. Nate's, a whole normal condo a fool. Yani St. Nate's, 1 hour closer to Europe. Or no, call 18, 19 hours to Europe. Yeah, 5 hours to Europe. Wouldn't mean Tower cassava and my European, or Quacoto cassava or Mexico. We trade in Oden away or what false? Ambassadors, 8 Ghanaian ambassadors, and then I'm back to resolve this menace, to resolve this problem. Into youth, creating wealth, creating this, creating that. It is all political gimmick. We don't have clue of answers. And we approach everything, like I said, say, you were fixed-minded. Say, we came with manifesto. Therefore, yes, we have. They cannot solve any manifesto issue here. And they know they cannot face. Because your manifesto does not seek to attract. Not only, you're talking about investment. Yeah. How do you talk about investment? Now we preach about FDIs. Talk about export. Don't talk about FDIs. Talk about your exporting exportation capacity. Don't talk about foreign direct investments. How do you expect a foreigner to come and directly invest here before you make money out of him? It's a joke of an economic practice, and it's a waste and a weak system and a lazy system of running a country, if that is to call it economics. No, that is not economics, it's practice. Create your own wealth. Why do you expect somebody to foreign directly invest? How much more have you also foreign directly invested in other countries as a country? Have we done that?
Do you have the millionaires, the billionaires? Do you have that financial wherewithal as a state? For example, maybe
a question. Ghanaian billionaires, Omar Boom Homading. Kosha, how are some of them started? There were Ghanaian billionaire and a millionaire so-called. Woman $5 loan, Obejane. Oye, they are well to do. The government loan 10 cities a being candidate. I say, must struggle to make what I've made, what I am today. Uncle G loan, Yamajane dying. Yamafan the bank uncle to why? But countries that are serious, the people that have the capacity, I will not mention company names for people to say you're advertising for them. They could have, and they will be able to earn more if they have the soft loan. But they are afraid, and they don't want to take the risk to lose what they've made already. Into one konenim, on person to I stagnant, to I successful.
Oh, you're okay. He or she is comfortable with
that. Alhamdulillah. Oh, you're okay. Uncle to Chacha.
But how do we see progress with such approach?
Yeah, with that approach, that is what I'm saying, that you have not given him the motivation. Are you getting me? Your bank is not taking that risk to support that person. Because even in approach in our banking settings, like I've always mentioned, 230 branches of your friends, a commercial bank, whole country, how many farmers can no soft loan? Oh, some found cocoa this year. How many? Agric bank. Oh my can't say me. Farm agric bank. Amanuska. Some fan kodo. The year season nadu. Are you with me? And it's a farmer na kwayeno. Na year. Obetima don't have how many acres?
Just 2 acres, people.
2 acres. Because second crown the case in our best on starting to 1 meter. Now the 1 meter air dot 2 acres. Obedobe we na self. How much does it cost to get one tractor that is less than $6,000 to farm, to plow the land, to clean the land? Nema farmer na hoarding so enya den. Ontimi sustain na hoarding. How far do we plant? And so the insecticide spraying, what the weedicide spraying, and politics of this country. Into the farmer near the 3 acres na answer. Ukoko na kotong na yetania ka volumes. We got this total tonnage.
1 million.
1 million tonnage. Tonnage in contribution from the government. Dodo say na do. Oh farm no way. What stops you? Whom should the farmers of the village believe and trust and have confidence? Oh, kwajina asase. Abano oji asase wo individual ho. Our villages in ho. Me kohana ka yadebe mano.
Abano.
So lead. That's the leadership. Kokoji afuo. Ne train with students na demonstration nano as farm inspectors. No mon koho. Ne see that is Equatorial Guinea. Ne company farm, A company, B company, C company, or Jedria Thomas Spain. Not only oil nor anything. And go there, that is why the graduates are working. Because they are well motivated. Or in the farms, or in Bangware, beautiful girls gum, or Waribi. When you be doing the don't worry yet. Do you get what I mean? MashaAllah. Do you get what I mean? That is what the serious nation believes. Japan, you need bigger company. I daho kakraka apart from who Yokohama money. Your friend is saying Fuji money is our companies. Japan, Boeing, United States Boeing aircraft. Ubako Japanese family ni pa 4. Nire papa number 2. Underground the basement and will try high top quality boats and not automa Boeing. But better than the government has given them what it takes. One man the machinery, one man the requisite training. And this was shape $10 billion, $1 million they are come Boeing. So we'll take $200,000 at the Amak Japan as a service nation. It is not an issue. And in Jememe 100,000 from Pony, the Kamboma, what to me the YESEC repairs. Not to sit come and tell me in parliament and say, Mumma approval of law, Namen Fan Concordi we say. Do you get what I mean? Economics is wisdom and practicality, not about book reading. Now what to Ghanaian politician be sorry. No, baby reading Paul A. Samuelson economic theory of 1909. What then are the very around the economy of 21st century in a country where challenge population or population nationality grow? What are you talking about? And the youth, they've done well, they've demonstrated. I haven't heard it, but I believe Ghanaian youth as usual wouldn't be any violence. So in the first place, it was even needless exercise for anybody to stop them because Ghana youth don't mean violence. Go any alive for boys who street. And if you don't have that youth, I'll be fighting against you. Now Ghana youth, the other can be our tears. Ghana youth, your lecturers, a dear yomu school and son will be Piabababonting. Lecturer now or no crown on your Najun class or bay in-depth research. Or no Timiko quote to a book pamphlet, the man said, so one top pamphlet and a member passo.
Oh, wait, my can't be 2008, University of Ghana. Lecturer be by. And I was say, why any pamphlet?
Yes.
Now pamphlet no. Now me medical bookshop. UPS did that. Ako that particular book no. Ato book no dey to me room and me can candidate.
Oh ye bibia word to word.
Verbatim. Where you be and free.
Oh yeah, wa catch one time me fail you. What be fail you?
Also ota who see. Una toya who see your name is written down, your ID number is written down. Who see
to obe marking was started agree you dada. So this is the issue. All these things in the students in the and to a that's a human the students should also, the youth should also understand, say, it is not an issue of any country that has to be fixed anywhere. The country is already here.
Yeah.
We are not to fix any country anywhere. It's the economy that has to be fixed.
It's one thing that has to be fixed.
One thing has to be done.
The economy.
Create wealth for the country and then it boosts.
That's all.
It bolsters the rest. Now, I don't know of your time, but I think beginning or the introduction you read maybe something you cited online regarding myself of an appointment and a mandate, which maybe I think is also another elevation. It's one of its kind, but several others maybe I haven't shared. I have one from Serbia, which I also do for Serbian government with the African countries. I have the one for Vanuatu. I have similarly many others, but this is one of its kind. Sir, I've mentioned before. Mr. from Pondo, benim story. Benim baby amunya. Sir, I was on the aircraft just about 3 days ago from Kigali en route Accra, and to see for man who appointment. And this was an appointment that UK government with Vanuatu, with West Papua, and the government of Holland, they sat down and asked me to come on board. Already it's a renewed mandate because we're already working on it. I held Beniwinda, who is the interim president of the country. Yeah. I took him before the ACP, African Caribbean Pacific, 2019 in Kenya. And we laid forth the document of the only African black race, the only race of African descent, and the biggest island in the world, with the wealth. The whole Indonesian money is from West Papua, and yet they don't have independence, and Africa is quiet. We put this one for Uhuru supported. I congratulate the Ghana President Akufo-Addo, Nana, His Excellency. He was the second person to speak on the subject, and indeed, he underscored a very high important point. But the only thing is that when it comes to matters like that, African leaders initially say the foreign ministers at the document in Betua, the head of states in Bakan, they don't push it further. West Papua, the United Liberation Movement of West Papua, a country. The West Papua 2.5 is their population is bigger than all the South Pacific nations of population. So if a country like Nauru Island, which is less than 12,000 people, a country like Tonga Island, I'm sorry Ghana for Motis Island in Muntampi Dineti, Tonga Island, 1 million. What do I say? The Micronesia, Polynesia regions, Solomon Island, Kiribati, Tahiti. What can the New Caledonia, British, France, 4 islands, 3 population, in 600,000. Lumia. Yet, now a flag nation bearing with independence. But because Indonesia, per se West Papua, any independence, Oma encrypt you. The whole country, Nipa 4 Penetime Island and also 4. Beninunda is 1. So it took the British Scottish Parliament to force a government of West Papua to be formed in UK. So he has a president sitting like Mandela when Mandela was in jail. So he's the one they're looking up to. So we're pushing the agenda, say the world will listen to them. Yes, I saw and I read, say I'm to mediate and liaise between the United Nations and ACP.
Yeah.
Inshallah, we'll do it because I've already gone to the UN. Yes, I've already done it with the UN. With the ambassador to the UN, ambassador of Vanuatu to the UN. Otto, we've done it already. But this is a renewed mandate that now we are now going to push because we have a program at Switzerland 2019 at the UN General Assembly where I delivered a speech. And my witness is Ghana's Speaker of Parliament. I invited him there. I took him there to the Continental Hotel. And the presidents are involved. One of them, Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia presidents, Mitri. All of them were there. You asked His Excellency, the number 3, Honorable Abambagwin. I personally invited him there. He was there. He was also honored. And I sat him on a table with presidents of European countries. You can ask him, he's in Accra here. And spoke on behalf of our country. So it's something we're already working on it. Out of that, it was not only West Papua that pushed the agenda, but the Holland British government and then the United Nations itself as the body. They somehow got me involved, said I should lead the race. And that, by his will.
Inshallah.
So we are fighting and going to gun and fight for an independence for the only black descent of the world that hasn't got independence. So it is a Hercules task. And that brings to questions. We know what we are doing. We know what we're doing and we know how to do it best.
Because there are a couple of literature and documentaries that I've watched. Yes. And how West Papuans are treated, especially...
They use snakes to guide them when they are in jail.
Yes.
Pythons.
Yes.
No.
They pythons that go.
And so I saw piano Abuana Iron and I say, no, they keep about 600 people hostage. Now
they shoot you to death when they see you in certain areas. The Malaysian government has demarcated you should not go.
No island, the only country of the world.
It's not your land.
Even Nauru Island, which is the size of Nauru Island, Inu Mohasi. Flight at the Nauru Island, the Nipa 7 at Oni Airport, we see Anwem. And the flight in I was in Nauru in 2018. I started calling my kid because I thought I would not survive. These are archipelagos, which are countries with flag, but a bigger island of the world, bigger than the Caribbean islands, bigger than Barbados, bigger than Trinidad and Tobago, bigger than Haiti. It happens to be one of the biggest on the Caribbean island, bigger than Jamaica. So, the world has not been able. So we are at the door of Africa. And they're all the 89 countries of the ACP, African, Caribbean, Pacific. We are pushing the agenda. Say they have to come out for us to push the independence for West Papua. And I think say now I'm drawing my agenda with this renewed mandate. It's rather unfortunate and say the entire mammy move much here. The COVID, maybe I'll be able to him. And my nose is very sensitive. It's a little bit handicap. Either than that, people like Obasanjo, Sam Nojuma, Festus Mogai, and then also Mo Brahim and others. All of them, and then so the Nigerian billionaire, was the name, Dangote and others. Many of them, no, they are all coming on board. That will not allow for the people to be punished, and they deserve to have their independence. But now, so look at it from this angle. So Ghana fought independence some years ago. So if you have over 64 years of independence and total liberation, should your students, should your youth be on the street today, the 21st, 2021, to cry for job with all this wealth facing before you? If for only political expediency's sake and talking, do we need that? Now, Obia won't even pay. Now, if fear what them no near the snake, abato a fear.
Yeah.
Wild dogs are snakes. Omungaju omuso munkobe obebia, and yet they have hope. So some of us must live to live. So we are praying that we'll be able to do. And it is correct, say, you cited the renewed mandate and the appointment to push the diplomatic. It's a very huge properties, and there is a risk involved because I've had a couple of warnings from the Malaysian government, the Indonesian government, including even locally in Ghana. I know what the Indonesians, because they know the architects and those who are pushing for that agenda. And so we are a little bit cautious and careful. We are not involved in politics, but it's one of those.
I wish you well on your renewed mandate, but the messenger was in so say on a holiday like this, you're a very, very busy person. You fly again.
No, you are around.
No. I'll have a castle around. No friend was patch on your hands.
Heard post-face the country outcomes in the country. But your youth, and still, some of us, be advised. We are backing you. We support you. Any little advice that we can give.
Yeah.
Yes, please. No violence. No insults. Talk like a student, or talk like a graduate, or talk like Obia. Don't speak and talk like a politician. With that one, some of us will distance ourselves from that. That was the reason. Say, the course is a good course. But the initial planning and how the advocates and the methods and the orientations, to me, I also do understand how a government to take that position say, oh, mamonye. COVID or without COVID, that was not the reason. It was the reason, said the involvement of the political philosophers, that was it. Because if you could not do then your time, you can't come also and tell me, which I understand perfectly. I would have taken the same position. So if we have to stand in the neutral and play like the game of the Swiss, play like the game of the Polands, play like the game of the Canadians, and play like the game of the Austrians, keep the middle belt red, white, and nothing more. So you are not speaking for anybody. You are speaking for your own destiny.
Yeah.
Don't talk about somebody said when this party was there. If you made that kind of stupid comparison, you are out of touch. So nobody will take you serious. Because if they did not do it, the other one didn't do it. This one is also not doing it. And we want answers of today. And then tomorrow, whoever comes should also continue. We need nothing but employment. You don't take me to school and just only give me schooling by knowing how to read and write. You take me to school, educate me so that I'll know what to do. So we should separate the two and know what we want. And that should be the focus of the youth. Ejuma ni epe. Mama ejuma metim dia ware. Mama ejuma metim dia hwa me hu.
Ejuma metim dia
sidan.
Yeah.
Because medical they are two team say a property owning democracy.
Yeah.
So why am I still renting a room?
I'll have a room renting or Okofaba. But before we started, I told you the lions are born in August. Mr. Farouk, our Wahab is celebrating his birthday today. And then my name surprise! A big one, a big surprise. So a happy birthday to the international diplomatic consultant Farouk Al-Wahab, 4th of August 2021, and birthday, and we are doing the celebration right here in the studio. on a Pahua Daben birthday, the entry man and Pawan San Yakwako celebrity. So we are doing the celebration right away, right now. As you everything must change, you know. We are celebrating the birthday here. Minim say Wahab Farouk our who be Kansana ya cake no Kwame wanna put TV together.
Okay.
Inti Kwame mama Kwame nkasa. Kwame kasa na Ura Wahab on kasa.
We are only happy say our Wahab has been a family member of this team.
Nana Ken echere kwa ngwa be faso bi twa cake.
Aza mumo nsu ya gigita. O post kwa ye tray. Boko si horticulture. O nsu ya se twa cake. We home economics money tray.
Wow. It's really a digital stroke. Ni enim na mpofuru mu na ne enyanti ese ne wa anti. We the big akra from the Pahua Dabe team. Ye dey mauni. Ye bomb players when you mean kind of na afisa say ye setting the bigger style.
Provided on that day I will come.
Oh, West Papua. Okay. Anyway, happy birthday from the head of the team, management, member from archives to Tim and Obia. Don Kwabena Pra, your host, and Sefa Dankwa. You wish you happy birthday.
Okay, let me also make a remarks. It's the first of my kind throughout my world. Minim Kik. I was born by to a very strict Muslim mother. So he says, occasion, birthday, this and that. You know, every date is a date. So we've never grown up to know anything like cake. And indeed, my boys too. I went to Western world like United States. Piloting. No, but the point is on growing celebrate your birthday. So it's quite very, very, very a big thing to me. And to just want to display my ignorance here. Minim said this, the public should forgive me. Because okay, because me try be that. And the Maminda Mase from Pong, and then all those who put this one together said, it's the first of its kind. I've gone through a lot of series of radio interviews all over the country, several years since 2000, 21 years. No radio station or TV station have done this, even though some of them they do know or they come across my day falling on that day on the 4th of August, which I believe. I share this with all those born in August, and then particularly also those born on the 4th of August. We are very rough people somehow, very calm, but very, very assertive. And I share this with your station, and I thank you very much. Say, Nyamema Mosusono, my studio, my program, my grow from strength to strength, and I do promise, say, any time of my availability, no, some more from here. From Pong, he knows how to get at me. It's a very normal day like this today, no. Nah, swipe on me. I didn't know this was going to happen. I wouldn't have come. But having been here, no, my Minda, my management, I say, Minda, my board, I say, Minda, all the members, and I say, you need the year, Mamma, too, because Minim said yes, you told me, and Uncle and come home. I'm in answer to some now, the stations in Yaminfa was so their more share. There are a lot of stations in the country, but Yamama was also Monko and Nimsa. I thank you, and you also particularly. It's been one of the very brilliant show that we've done.
Thank you very much, sir.
But that is me. I'm very quiet, but then when your programs, you call me that, I just get a little bit off track. I show the inner 4th August in me. I bring it out. Okay, church, yes, also can say. You're going to say. So, you can say yes. As okay, into what music? Okay. Okay.
Yawa.
must change. Nothing is forever.